Hi and welcome back to another day of Kanji Master. Today we're going to look at this kanji first. It's a kanji for to work for, or to serve, or to attend. Shi in shigoto, ji and suka in tsukaeru, which means to serve someone or to work for, like a company or something like that. To draw it's quite simple. It's just a kanji for person and then samurai. If you think of to work for someone, potentially if you can imagine your boss, whoever they might be, as a samurai sitting in their office, and you walk in at the door, so can I do something for you? How can I serve you, sir? How can I look after you? At your office, and just imagine that your boss is a samurai dressed up in all the regalia, he or she, looking like the full deal with the top knot and everything. That might help you visualize shigoto. This next kanji is the kanji for round or turns, or to turn. Look at kai, like as in sankai, do something 3 times. Went to the shops 3 times. Mise ni sankai ita. 3 times, into the shops 3 times. E mawaru, to turn. Mawari is like the circumference of something. Mawasu, to physically turn something. And kai do the same thing. The shape's quite simple. It's just a mouth inside another mouth. So you got to think of 2 mouths. When you're getting lost or turned around, maybe you're spinning around in circles, and you see, you spin around, and then you see your friend, and it looks like you're trying to focus your eyes. It looks like they have 2 mouths, sort of one inside the other. They're you can't really focus because you've spun around and around. To draw it, as I mentioned before, and we do shapes inside of other shapes, you create the outside shape, then you fill in all the details within it, then you close it shut. So to that end, do the outside mouth, we draw the inside mouth, and we close it off. And that's it. When you're spinning around and around, you're turning around, or you spin around a number of times, you see your friend's mouth inside of her mouth. And that's it. This next one, I apologize if it's a little bit hard to see, I'm going to have to get a new pen. This one means to take up, or to fetch, or just to take. The onyomi reading is shu, which I'm not too sure about. The kunyomi reading is the to from toru or tori, to take. If we look at the shape, it's just an ear on the left and a stool on the right. If you can imagine a strange story, often when you see this kind of toru to take or to pass or to fetch, like if you at a restaurant or something, pass the salt, like shio totte, or shokuen, like table salt, like shokuen totte, pass me the salt. So if you can imagine someone has left their ear, like a detachable ear, maybe it's a robotic ear, could be a robot even, left their ear on top of the stool, and you're asking them, please can you pass it to me, can you fetch this for me, can you take this for me? Or they can be handing it to you, can you take this ear and put it on the stool there? So you can just imagine ear on a stool, take the ear, or to put the ear there. Hope that helps you remember. Next one. This next kanji means neck. It's also surprisingly the counter for songs or poems. I didn't know that until today. The onyomi reading is shu, which I guess is the counter for poems, and kubi meaning neck. If you look at the character, it's like the 2 horns on top of a 1, and then it's yourself. The kanji for the ji for jibun, oneself. If you can to remember this story, if you can imagine that you have the number 1, so I have a few tattoos here, you guys may have noticed. But if you imagine you have a tattoo here of the number 1 on your throat with 2 horns sticking out of it, on your own throat, number 1, with 2 horns sticking out of it, just remember it's on your neck. Maybe I have it on the side, behind your ear. Just remember it's on your neck, the tattoo for 1 with 2 horns sticking out of it. So 2 horns and the 1 on your own neck, one's own neck. And hopefully you can remember neck. It's quite a simple shape. Shouldn't be too difficult. This next kanji is a kanji for market or city or town. The onyomi reading is shi, like city, and the kunyomi reading is ichi, like ichiba, like market or fair. To draw it, it's just the lid on top of this shape here. And this shape I'm going to be referring to. If you guys have ever seen Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, or the movie or the cartoon series, Raphael has a weapon. It's actually a Japanese weapon, it's called a sai. Don't ask me how I know this. I used to watch cartoons in the 90s, I guess. And so if you can remember the shape of that weapon, remember Raphael. Now Raphael and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles just live in the sewers underneath New York City. So if you can imagine this top lid here, this lid is one of those sewer grates, the hard, heavy bowls, and they just pop that on top. And underneath is Raphael with his weapon, his sai. So if you can remember the city, where does Raphael live? He lives in the city underneath the lid, underneath the sewer grate. And there's his weapon, the sai. Hope you can remember that. On to the next one. Last kanji for today. This is a kanji for plan or measure or gauge. Ke as in toke, like for watch, or keikaku, to plan, like plan. The haka for hakaru and the haka for hakarao, meaning to organize. Right, if you look at the shape, it's the kanji for sei, which I think is about the 4th kanji we've seen with this in it. I think by the end of this course we'll be close to 20 kanji with the same shape in it. It gets a bit confusing later on. And then on the right hand side we've got the cross. Maybe to remember this one, you could sort of think that you are planning to build a church, I guess. And you say, the church is almost finished. The last thing you need to do in your grand plan of building this church is to put a cross on the top. So you say to the site manager, hey, put a cross on that one. Say, put a cross on that. He said, why? He goes, that was my plan. That's my plan all along. Do that. It's not a great story, but it's quite simple shapes. Maybe you can come up with something better, add something in the comments. And that's it for today. As Raphael would say, cowabunga dudes. See you tomorrow.